Alright, so today I wanted to talk about something a little interesting I think some of us can relate to. And without further ado, let's get going. And there's no intro, let's just jump straight in. I heard a story a couple of days ago at this point. And this story I was told by this person reminded me of how frustrating working with some boomers can be. This actually is probably going to be a short video, so not all of them, of course, not all elderly people, are rude and terrible to be around and everything. I mean, it's human, so not every single person's the fucking same. But some boomers, if you will, are just absolutely fucking insufferable to be around and to even work for. And that's the key point that I'm going to focus on is working for. This person told me that, and this person, mind you, because there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to say, has worked with this person for years. And a few days ago, he told me this boomer accused him or implied it of stealing money from him, which I don't even know how in the fuck. And was trying to rush this person because he has a starting out business and trying to rush him, having him go over areas that he's already cleaned. It's a cleaning job. And he's already cleaned those areas and he wanted him to do it again. And after, all those jobs, he accuses the fucker of stealing. Or implies it. It's heavily implied. And I'm just sitting here, or laying here rather, thinking that must be an insufferable person to work for. Not only did he work for this person for years, but the fact that he even accused him of stealing money because, well, moral of the story, long story short on that, is that he miscounted, didn't even count his own fucking money, and he's the employer. He didn't even count his own fucking money. And it's like, why would you assume out of the blue that this person's stealing from you? That doesn't make sense. Because this person has worked with this guy for years, and I mean literal fucking years at this point, 2 to 3. And would you not think that at least within the first year, you would have been able to tell if this person was worth having around and working for your company? I just don't fucking get it. And, the fucking nitpicking and bitching, it's just a little a little ridiculous. And then on top of all of that, this all happened the same day. This person told me. He threatens his position. He says, "Well, we're going to have to find you something new because we have another guy, we could just do this and that." And the traditional boomer pussy ass way of saying, "Well, if you don't shape up the way I want, the way I want you to shape up, we're going to can your ass. We're going to replace you." That's pretty much what the fuck that means. And it just reminded me of how fucking awful working for certain older people, whether they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, doesn't matter. Not all of them are this bad, but how some can be this bad. And why it's just in fucking infuriating to deal with an older person who has no emotional maturity, cannot handle their stress well, and every fucking thing in between. And then yet, these are also because since they can't, regulate their emotions, they have an outlet, so they claim the generation is lazy, even though they're emotionally lazy and not even going to do anything to put in the work. It is absolutely fucking insane. And not only the worst part about this, and it isn't for the person who told me the story, it was the person who was starting this business, is like, you don't even have your fucking footing in, and you're already acting like this. And I've heard like two other people couldn't stand working with this dude, and it's like, well, I don't know if they couldn't stand working with him. I don't know. One of them was flaky, but hearing all this shit, I'm starting to kind of see why, you know? And it just reminds me of how shitty some bosses are. And it's not even just a boomer thing, too. It's just how some boomers are. I've even met people my age who bitch about generations and all that shit, even though they're the most emotionally constipated piece of shit on the fucking planet. Um, and treat people like fucking, what is it, tools, because they have a particular worldview because they came from the hard working, they have a hard working background. But you know what, they may have a hard working background, but they sure do not have a hard brain working background because they're so emotionally unavailable. I hate, like, never work for somebody like that. I'm just going to be blunt and honest and say that is probably a huge mistake. And if you leave your job and you end up getting a job and your boss is like that, fuck that person, man. Like, you don't have time to sit there and be bitched at and viewed down upon because, oh, the generation before, several generations under mine are lazy, you know? It's kind of funny how that works. And it's like, I just don't fucking get it. Like, there's just also some of these boomers, dude, and in this particular circumstance, it is a boomer. Pardon me. In this circumstance, it's a boomer, and it's like, is he just blaming this person because he's younger? you know, Still getting over a cold. But anyhow, is it like, do they just take out their shit on younger people because they are jealous? I don't know. I really don't want to get into the speculations, but yeah, it's just what it seems. Um, and really, just it's they take it out on anyone who doesn't fit their worldview. I don't think it's necessarily um, the generational thing, but that's just an outlet to take out their emotional constipation out. At least leak a little shit, I guess. you know? And the funny thing is, like, he overpaid this person, which is the thing, which is where the implication of stealing comes across. And he ends up giving the dude the money he didn't mean to pay out. And it's like, why did you imply the fuckers? Like, why did you imply he's stealing? What was the goal there? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and then you literally give him the money that you were sketched he was taking. Shut the fuck up. He, like, usually, and then the person told me he never apologized for implying that because he's a coward and knew he was wrong and didn't want to say anything and probably gave him the money just to pay him to shut up instead of actually taking accountability. So, moral of the story is, not all older people are fucking cool, man. Some of them are fucking shitty, not worth working for, and not even worth being around. And again, doesn't go for every single old person out there, but I mean, Jesus Christ. So, anywho, I learned where not to work. So, that's, I guess, a bonus. And this person's learning what to and not to tolerate. And also, the way he handled it was fucking excellent because he didn't even freak out at him over the implication. He told him straight up, he was like, I'd never steal from you. Like, we've been working together for fucking years. And it's like, you know, it's just really stupid how some people, not just boomers, I guess, it's just really stupid how some people unload their stress out on their employee. And if it really is, at least in this personal circumstance, if this really is because, oh, this person's a younger generation, I mean, there's a few other things we have kind of theorized what it could be, but it's all it is just fucking theories, not really worth thinking on. But anywho, yeah, be careful around certain older gentlemen or gentle ladies or women because not everyone is fucking cool. And that really doesn't just go for age, it goes for fucking any age, really. Any age over the age of 19. Because, Jesus, man, working for people that are that emotionally constipated, that cannot regulate stress correctly or whatever the fuck it is, that's just sad. Anywho, that's me, Sacred G. Peace the fuck out. Have a good one, and be careful where you work. And stay calm if shit like this happens. Do not give them any ammo to then say, oh, well, you flipped out on me and you're acting all guilty, blah, blah, blah. Peace the fuck out. Have a good one. Bye.